Hi, welcome to another episode of Inside the Director's Studio. I'm your host, Will Rompala. I'm here today at Footlighters Theater with director Carl Lotz on the set of Wait Until Dark, actually opening October 21st and running through till November 5th. Actually, today is the preview performance. So
Correct.
We're all set to open up and ready to show this to a new audience. So Carl, for those who aren't familiar with the theater, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved here at Footlighters?
Well, we've been, my wife and I have been active in community theater for many, many years. And technically there are different community theaters around, but I was asked if I would consider coming to Footlighters within the last few years and do some of the technical work that they were looking for help with. And it just happened to be at the right time. For the last literally 18 years, we've been doing murder mystery dinner theater that my wife writes and putting all our efforts into that. And it was just the right time when someone called and said, hey, will you come help?
Oh, that's neat. So going from a murder mystery to pretty much a murder mystery, it seems like it was a pretty good fit. Actually, to that point, as we were talking before, I know you Wait Until Dark is a play that you have a warm place in your heart for.
Oh, absolutely, my favorite for all intents and purposes. And now the reasoning being, if you went back 40 years, when the show opened in 1966 and was available in little theater groups after that. We did the show literally 40 years ago, and then it recycled enough, and about 20 years ago we did the show. Now, I didn't direct the first one and so on, but that's incidental. But I worked within the shows themselves. And then when it came up again here at the Footlighters, the play reading committee and recommended it to the board of directors. Boy, I jumped, and I just wanted to be part of it. Luckily, I had the opportunity to be the director.
Well, with a show such as this, there are a lot of challenges in actually doing the staging, and I'm sure you were aware of that going right into it. Looking around the set, it's fairly comprehensive. There's a dishwasher and a washing machine on the stage. I mean, it's certainly not a small abstract set. What other sort of challenges were you aware of going into it that you had to overcome in actually technically pulling the show together?
Well, it has a lot of technical scenes, let's put it that way, and a lot of technical things that do have to happen. Anything from a sink behind me that actually works because we need to use it during the course of the show.
Wow.
The washer and dryer on set are an integral part of it, and people that come to see the show will understand that when the time comes. And a lot of things that you had to take into consideration. The list of props in the playbook itself is almost 5 pages long. Excessive under normal circumstances, right down to the wire. And there's it's just a very, very intriguing suspense show, and a tremendous amount of fun.
Okay. I know it's considered the film version of this play is considered one of the, if not the most suspenseful endings in film history, according to the American Film Association. And I know a lot of it has to do with the main character, who's portraying a blind woman.
That is correct.
How did that get woven into rehearsals and practices and things like that?
Well, the young lady that plays that part is called Susie in the character. Her name is Holly in real life. Was kind of she was familiar with the show when she came to try out for it. Now, I didn't know it at the time. Obviously, you fill out a tryout form and so on, and you look at her and you find that she's probably our candidate. Well, after we asked her to play the part, she then mentioned to us that she played, in the show there's also a little girl, and that she played the little girl many years ago for the People's Light and Theater Company when they did Wait Until Dark. So it was just one of those things. As a result, she had a good concept as to what the show was and what she was trying to accomplish. Now, I had mentioned to you previous in our conversation, she plays that of a blind person. Well, we have to keep her abstract and blind at all times. We literally, when she goes off stage here, she is not allowed to look at the stagehands or anything like that. We don't want her going into and out of that mode. We have to keep her, once the curtain goes up, we have to keep her in that mode until curtain call.
I find it fascinating. I mean, how do you rehearse and work on that not being able to look down at what you're doing? I mean, was there any insight, or how did she work on that character?
Well, for all intents and purposes, of course, she had been exposed to it. And what transpired is we literally had my assistant director, literally kept continuity with her. No, you're breaking, or you watch it, and so on. But it's amazing, after we got into our rehearsal schedule, and she started getting used to it, how easy it was to fall into it.
Very nice.
So
interesting. Now I know also one of the another fabulous character in the show is that of Rote, the psychopathic
villain.
Yes,
okay.
Very interesting character, because he does portray that psychopathic personality where can be almost anyone, depending on who he's talking to. It's completely a perfect con man and a murderer.
Rote actually plays 3 different characters in the play.
Oh, that's a great
all related, obviously, to his character, but he plays Harry Rote Jr., Harry Rote Sr., and himself. Okay. And what is always intriguing is when you have people to try out, everybody wants to play Rote. And that, in a nutshell, was part of the problem. But the biggest problem was finding someone that has the look and everything else. And what transpired is, ironically, when we found that character, it happened to be a gentleman who had earned his living for almost 20 years as a stand-up comedian. So
interesting. I'm sure we're not saying anything about stand-up comedians. However, but maybe that the ability to fall into multiple characters.
I think it was a combination of that, and his ability also to do different dialects and so on. And I think Mark, is his name, is just absolutely outstanding.
It's a technically challenging production, and it is a very suspenseful for the audience. We don't want to give anything away. We don't want to give any details away, so it's difficult to try and to talk about it. However, maybe put it this way: what would you like when the curtains close and everything's over? What would you like that audience who is just experienced Wait Until Dark? What would you like them to be saying?
Well, we're down to the dress rehearsal this evening. When we rehearsed last night, my assistant director, at the end of one of the scenes. Now there are 2 acts, 3 scenes each. At the end of one of the scenes, my assistant director, I heard her because I was sitting behind her, literally said, "Wow." Obviously, I was very pleased. I said to her, "Well, we must be doing something right, or something's working," okay, that type of thing. So yeah, I would like the audience, perhaps during the show, to say, "Wow," and then really feel that it was an outstanding production and worth, of course, their money.
Of course.
So.
Very good. Well, Wait Until Dark opens tonight, or for a preview, but this weekend, October 21st, 22nd, 23rd, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All of our Sunday shows are matinee at 2 o'clock. Otherwise, curtain is at 8 o'clock. It runs for the next few weeks and closes November 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So make sure you come on out and see it. It's going to be an exciting, suspenseful time. And you can call the theater, make reservations, you can purchase tickets online, or the tickets are $12 at the door.
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you much.